There you go.
That's so fantastic. That is fantastic.
Where's the
It's
picture?
great. That's a thing. Hello, and welcome. Welcome. Click into our
This
faces.
is why it needs music.
It does need music
It
because
does.
I didn't
It,
know
it throws you off.
how long
Yeah.
it was gonna be. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Unpopular Reviews. Today. Oh wait, what's the thing that we say? Thanks for clicking on our faces. That's what you say.
Yes, that's
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Today
got
we're
it. You
reviewing.
got it.
Today we're
No, he
reviewing
he's
episode
nailing it.
4 and 5 of
Episode
Superman.
4 or 5.
Superman is popping right now, ladies and gentlemen. It is so good. Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. But
Not
It's
the
a
voice.
lot.
I'm
Not the
yapping.
voice. That was great.
I'm yapping too much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, that was fantastic. Good job.
Because
Take the
this
floor, see.
this go show is good.
So, okay, this episode, we're on episode 4 and 5, guys. Now, the last episode kind of left off on a little cliffhanger when Lois kind of was saying that she hates Superman, and that's where we are. That's what we pick up at the beginning of episode 4, and they got their first assignment from the chief. Right, he's like, "Look, guys, I need you to hit up this soiree and
Yep.
ask some fluff piece questions. They're fluff pieces, but the everyone's excited because they're interns. And they want to get in there and ask the real questions because the soiree is being hosted by I was about to say Gotham's, but Metropolis's most eligible bachelor,
Yeah. What
Tony
was this
Stark.
guy's name?
Facts.
Anthony. No, no.
Facts.
I'm gonna make sure I got this guy's name right because I took some notes here. And you might as well call him that because he had the crappy side goatee thing. So I get why you said that. But his name was Anthony Ivo, and I found this amazing because Ivo. There's probably one character in fiction with the name Ivo. Take a guess who that is.
Mhm.
Poison Ivy. I don't know what do you mean.
Well, that was actually really good, but no, not him. Dr. Robotnik. His first name is Ivo Robotnik. So when I heard Ivo, I said, "Who the hell names their kid this?" But carry on. I just thought the name was interesting.
Nice.
Maybe it's a little tip of the hat, to Dr. Robotnik or whatever.
Facts.
But it
He
was
wasn't fat
definitely
enough.
a tip of the hat to Tony Stark. I don't care what nobody say. Even that from the goatee
Mhm.
to the theatrics set at the what's it called with the events where he's showing off the suit. We'll get to it.
He was at,
But
it was a suit con. He was at suit con. That was his
You
own
know,
con.
you know what? It would be kind of silly, but if Robotnik was the one behind all of this tech, it would make sense. It would make sense. Like I would pop so hard if it
I
really
would
was Robotnik. Because
It's not.
Robotnik got the tech.
there's
Bro.
no way it's Robotnik. No way, no
Robotnik
way.
got the
But
tech, bro. I'm just saying. He does. But
but no, it is not Wednesday. We've come to you from the future to bring you
Yes, that's
this
good.
up.
Yeah, we're kind of a Tuesday team now, so we're
Hey,
we're doing it
hey,
Tuesday. We'll go back to Wednesday eventually. But
it's all
thank you
right.
guys
We
for
got
being here.
we got things to do, so we figured it out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
But we
entertain you guys
appreciate you
with
for
some,
watching.
like
Yeah,
entertain you
word
guys
up.
with some adventures of Superman. That's what
That's
we're here
right.
for.
Yes.
That's right.
Now, so uh during this they get the assignments, right? And they have to dress up. So, Clark comes in his best, little country boy suits. We got what's his name with the cameras?
Jimmy,
Uh,
Jimmy, Jimmy.
Jimmy,
Mhm.
Jimmy with the cameras. And we got Lois. Lois comes out with her traditional Asian fits, right? And
See, I
I
was
didn't know
gonna.
she was Asian in this
They
series. So
they
that's
did
nice to know.
no, they did change her up a little bit, and I was curious on what. I knew it was something different because she wore it. I was like, but what does she represent? But I'm glad that you pointed out. I do
Uh,
want to I do want to throw out real quick that you mentioned how they were uh, um, Clark and Jimmy. They had like their suits and stuff. No one listens to God, the chief. I'm sorry, I slipped his name slipped my mind because he said black
Uh-huh.
tie, and these guys were not wearing black ties. So apparently these
Oh
guys
well,
don't. No, and Superman have super hearing, so I find it amazing that he didn't hear that. But carry on.
we'll talk about that because there's something else he didn't hear, and I was shocked. But yeah, they show up and they get the cards. They have cards, questions they have to ask, and it's all fluff pieces, like who are you wearing, type of questions like that. And Lois is not about that. She said we need to ask the tough questions. We're in a room full of scum. We need to ask the scummy questions. But before they even get there, right? We see they're in Lois's office, quote unquote office,
Mhm.
and she's trying to piece together who the hell Superman is, right? So Clark is in there with Jimmy. A little book falls open, and it's got some evidence that he doesn't want her to see. Something about a flying boy or
I
flying
can't.
something
Yep. Mhm.
yeah. So he
Yep.
rips that page out. He's like, she ain't about to find this out. He ain't, and puts it in his pocket. Flash forward to the event. Now, like we said, it's all of these, the big names, big politicians
Right.
of the city.
Thomas Wayne was
And
there. Thomas Wayne was
yeah,
there.
exactly.
If he was alive, he would be there.
Mhm.
Yes, for sure. Just for sure.
Oh, he was one of those
Maybe
dudes that
Bruce
had
was
a
there.
double
Bruce
life.
was there.
He
Bruce
had
was
a
there.
double life, and he had another girl in Metropolis. Come on, Thomas, stop playing.
Maybe. Her fly boy from Kansas, automatic dead giveaway. Exactly. So, during this event, we got Tony Stark come out, and we find out that not only is he like the lead playboy, the most eligible bachelor, he is a genius. Like he creates this tech. He's the head of his own tech company,
Yeah.
and yeah, he's smart. You
No,
gotta
he's
give it to him. He's
smart, but
smart.
he seemed like he's smart, right? Now, I'm not taking that away, but he also had his partner. And I didn't write his name down, but his partner was the guy who's doing all the work. It seemed like he was
Yeah,
more of the like, hey, I'll wear the tech, but you're gonna do all this work, and then I'm gonna get all the credit kind of character. That's what I got out of him. When we
yep,
go further
yep,
on.
yep. Very
So you
Chris.
think that the other guy was the one actually inventing
Oh,
these things?
absolutely. He was the one who even said, he was even the part where he said something about, well, this is not 100% cleared yet. So he
Mhm,
knew all the stuff. The other guy
mhm.
was just so arrogant and wanted to just showcase his power because that's what happened. We have a little bit
Yep.
of power, you're sitting there showcasing. It's one of those contests. If I could say this on air, my dick is bigger than yours. That's the kind of guy that this
Yeah,
guy was.
definitely.
Mhm.
You know what he reminded me of? Remember the guy from
Who?
Mhm.
Ant-Man? Ant-Man 2,
Ah,
whatever
okay.
that
Yeah. You
Oh
told
yeah, the dude with the head. What's his
yeah.
name?
Mm-hmm.
It was
Not
Mordor
the
in
dude with
the
the
third
Yeah,
head.
movie.
Murdoch.
Yeah, I was about
You
to
know
say
what's
what?
crazy though? She said that and it kind of describes him well. Like that's
Yeah,
Wrong
the
with the head.
head, the dude with the
Yeah, he
head.
did. Yeah,
that
wrong
is
with the
crazy. He
head.
does have a weird shaped head. All right. Anyway,
That
but
that
yeah,
that
that
was disturbing. I
yeah,
didn't sleep for a good 2 days watching
but
that
yeah,
movie.
that guy, the way he was like,
Mhm.
crazy with power and all that, it
Yep.
reminded me a lot of him.
I can see it. I can see it
But
for
yeah, it was
sure.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
But
It was good.
so during this presentation, we're skipping over a lot, but during this presentation,
Sure.
um, Tony Stark was like, "Look, we're good. The company's about to make money, right? Because it's failing thus far. They had no profits. Dude is broke, but he has this like last ditch effort to please the stakeholders and shareholders, by showing off this thing that he calls the parasite. And I'm like, who wants to buy something called the parasite? That's marketing
Facts.
101. Like, who wants to
Yeah.
buy that crazy? It don't even sound good. But
Facts.
he puts it on and wants to show off his power. Pretty much, it's like this suit. We don't need a Superman, right? Everything in Metropolis is going wild. You got to protect yourself. So get the parasite. He puts it on. It's a super suit, and he says it's going to make you as strong as Superman. No Superman needed. And in order to show it off, he tries to like lure Superman out. He takes a pedestrian or whatever it is, an onlooker, dangles him outside the window, and of course Clark sees, so he has to, come back. It's Superman.
Yeah.
Now this is when the fight happens, y'all. This is when the fight happens. I really enjoyed this fight. I don't know what you guys thought about it, but it was exciting to me. What did
I
you think?
enjoyed it. I thought it was decent. I didn't think between. I know we're gonna go into episode 5. I'm gonna jump too far ahead. Episode 5 was more my favorite fight, but this was a pretty good fight. I mean, you have somebody who is. So what made this interesting was every time Superman hit him, he was able to absorb his attacks. So that made it
Mhm.
incredible. And then it was like, oh, how is Superman? Because once again, this is a year 1 Superman. So Superman, all he knows is to. I know how to punch. That's all he knows how to
Uh-huh.
do. And I like that later in the end that he learns how to maneuver against him. But I thought the fight was decent. I thought it was decent. It was good stuff.
Yeah, I agree with
Let
that.
me ask you something, Chrissy. How
Mhm.
much of a Superman fan were you prior to this?
She got the
Okay,
mug.
so okay.
She
All
got the
right. So
mug.
now I asked that question because I mean I find it interesting. I find this whole thing interesting because I feel like this is remix or just a new Superman. Because my issue with it, and this is just, I guess, me being old. My issue is that he easily gets hurt.
Mhm.
And my
Yeah.
whole thing with Superman is just that, like, it's impossible to hurt him unless there's like some kind of mechanism going on.
Right.
Usually kryptonite, and like when the guy came with the blades and hit him with the blades, and like, and you could see that he was physically hurt. Like, I question all those things because it's
Hmm.
like,
Well,
all right, how is it that he can crush certain things and then get hurt by other things, and then get marked up and get hickeys or whatever from some certain blades?
you
Like,
could get
like
hit with
how is it?
straight
Because the
out.
thing is that, like,
Ridiculous.
this guy is always been known as being like
The
indestructible.
Man of Steel.
But I
Yeah.
think that's what makes,
So
and I think that's what makes this series refreshing, though, because it's.
I
I think it would
agree.
have been, I think it would have been so boring if someone tried to hit them and their hand broke. I like that there's a sense of a challenge with this. That's always been my thing with Superman, where it's always felt like there was never no, he was never in danger, there was never no threat. So
Yeah.
I love
Uh-huh.
this idea that he can get hurt, even when you talk about that. And that's episode 5, and we'll jump into that after we finish episode 4. But a lot of these things also too, he's fighting mechs. It's not like there's some burglar. Let me tell you something. In the comics back in the day, just to show you how much comics have grown, if I can use Thanos as an example, you know how Thanos is a threat? Back in the 70s, if you looked up something, he got arrested. He got handcuffed by police officers. That don't make sense, right? So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
say all that is to say they found a way to water down or I don't know if it's necessarily watered down, but Superman also too. I keep saying this a lot. He's still learning how he's Superman. He's still learning. Like when he gets hit, I think he learns eventually how to pause here, harden his body.
Uh-huh.
So when he gets hit, he's able to
Yes.
be he's able to
Continue.
be he's able to be hard. So I'm just saying right now he doesn't know how to
No,
be hard right now.
Uh-huh.
I agree.
And
No,
because he
I get that. I get
about him
that.
being hard, right?
The only yeah, because the thing is he's supposed to stay hard, but he's soft. You know what I mean? He's
I
going
agree.
so I mean,
And
it's a
no one wants
generational
that.
thing. It's a generational thing. The previous generations were harder than this one. That's fine. Right? So the thing is, because we're dealing with shrimps now, um
I don't know what we're talking about anymore. I
no,
hope it's Superman.
I
Also,
mean,
yes.
I mean, listen, no, but my point is this. Look, the
Mhm.
other thing that I do like about this is that he's getting flashbacks or something.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
thing never
Mhm.
happened before.
yeah,
This part of it is really really new, right? So he's
yeah.
vulnerable and he's getting flashbacks from something else. It's not
Right.
just that the ship was buried and then that leads him to the North Pole and all this other stuff, right? Before there was an
Mhm.
answer for everything, and now
Right.
there isn't. Now everything is a question mark. So I think this is great. I know
Yeah.
that people my age and older are gonna start sucking their teeth. I see that already. But nah, man, this is good. This is
No,
good
it
stuff.
is. It is.
Yeah, I'm a big Superman fan. I do wish that they didn't, I get that, yeah, okay, he's just kind of learning to be Superman. But at the same time, some things should come natural. Him not, his skin being impenetrable, that should be natural. That's something that should just come with Superman. Is that I could see like, okay, learning to get his laser vision, learning how to actually fight for real, because he's not really a fighter. He's just been, he even said in the episode he never played any sports. He's not really that active out of fear of hurting, humans. But some
Right.
things should just goddamn naturally come to Superman, goddamn it.
But
But
hold
anyway,
up, wait a minute now, wait a minute now. But you know what though? Now that you say that, that laser
what?
vision was on point. That
Oh, he
laser
just got it
vision,
last episode too.
that laser vision was on point on some Leonardo type slicing people up. Like, come on now, where did that
But
come
yeah,
from?
long story short, on this episode, he fights with Tony Stark, and he figures out that if I just don't engage, he's gonna, he won't be able to fight, right?
Right.
And that's pretty much how he defeats him with the help of Lois and Ginny. Um, but also we see that Tony Stark, after the suit, after he takes off the suit, he goes
Yeah.
from Tony Stark to Deadpool without the suit.
Hot stock. No, that was old stock.
It was something. It was like he looked like a potato after the suit came off, and it's such a shame. But he ended up, the
He
day
was
was
also.
saved.
Yeah. Okay.
And but the cliffhanger of this episode, it seems like they always end off with a cliffhanger, something that I enjoy to make you look forward to the next episode, right? But it ends off with Lois. She's wearing Clark's jacket because he gave it to her because he's a gentleman, right? And she like stuffs her hand in his pocket, his little jacket pocket, and she pulls out the crumpled piece of paper that he took from her office that showed the flying boy in Kansas. And that's when it clicked with Lo. She's like, hold on, this Clark is Superman.
It shows.
And that's where we leave off.
It shows how determined she is. I mean, I did like that, and also we were talking about cliffhangers. I don't know how much of you guys watch like the end credits when they show the pictures and everything, but the last picture is usually a setup for the next episode. So in this
Oh
one,
no, I didn't peep
I
that.
was looking at this because they show all the pictures, and sometimes like little pictures from the previous episode, this very episode you're watching, and then there was,
Mhm.
and so like the last picture was a picture of Clark. No, it was Superman, but like she drew glasses on him because she's trying to figure out. And I just think that's a cool thing. I think that's so
Ooh.
cool because it sets up like how you mentioned for the next episode. So I think that's something that I didn't realize I appreciated so much until you mentioned it. And I was like, yeah, that's a pretty cool feature.
That is awesome. I
Mm,
didn't know that. A
discount Tony.
discount Tony Stark, right? That's exactly who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So we get into the next episode, and pretty much Lois is trying to catch Clark in the act of being Superman. She's like,
Yep.
hey, why don't we meet up, you, me, Superman, in the same room at the same time to interview him, right? And Clark is trying to dodge it. He's like, still trying to pretend as if he's not Superman. There's this emergency that happens in the city. They go out to see, what's going on because
Mhm.
it's all of these different things. It's the police. Lois, she has one of those dispatch radio things. She's hearing everything the
Yeah.
police are hearing, and pretty much as is Clark because he has
I,
that super hearing, right?
I honestly like this scene real quick. If I could just dig a little bit here, because like how you mentioned, she said like, "Why don't all of us be in the room?" I liked how he dodged and he said, "Oh, so you agree to work with me?" I enjoyed that so much. I thought that was great. 'Cause
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
he's not a liar, but he's not gonna flat out tell you. But I love that how something she mentioned said every time Clark you ever notice when Clark disappears, he says, "I'm going to get a bagel." You never see a bagel, and I like how they continue that bit in this very thing. And when he says, "Be right back, going to get my bagel," and then he comes, he has
Uh-huh.
no bagel, and they says, "Oh, forgot the cream cheese," and meanwhile he didn't have a bagel,
Uh-huh.
and she's realizing she's picking this up immediately, like, "Yeah, okay, okay, Superman." I just thought that
Hmm.
was a cool bit. And I just wanted to add that. Oh my god.
What do you guys feel about it only being episode 4 and 5, and she's already on, knowing that this is possibly Superman? What do you guys think about that?
Well, like I said before, this is not for people like me. And what do I mean by that? This episode was very reminiscent of one of the Superman movies, even to the point where she jumps off the top of the building type thing.
Hmm.
Because in one of the I forget which one it was. It could be two or three, one of them. But Lois Lane figures it out, and then she's just like on some, hey, listen, like, and he's just like, oh golly, I don't know, you know what I mean, being Smallville, and then all of a sudden she jumps off the thing, and he's like, hey, here we go, I'm saving you, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So like,
Hmm.
this was a callback to that. So I personally feel like they were just giving people like me the rub, like, all right, here we go, here's, just to give you the guys a little bit of a tidbit, and now we can move on,
Uh-huh.
type of thing. That's how, because I really popped for all of that, for all of
So,
that stuff that was going on, and her finding out and all of this. I like the fact that it's early and they're not dragging this out, because like it's gonna be other stuff. Notice how there's really no supervillains yet. It's
Not
all
any,
mhm.
not any of the like major ones, but I'll save my thoughts for that one later when you said about the villains.
what
But carry it.
what my,
Okay,
my main
But
point is just that like they're getting that part of it out of the way early.
that's fair.
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Dan
And I
seems
think
to
it's
agree. He says, glad they didn't drag out Superman's identity reveal throughout the entire seasons.
mm-hmm.
So okay, I feel like it's a little weird. I feel like it's a little weird. Already,
Yeah.
already in
No, but
episode
I see
four,
that though,
she's
because that's not where we're used to. That's what I'm
uh-huh.
saying. This thing
Hmm.
is going a whole different route. That's why I'm kind of glad that it's animated, as opposed to, I think what we definitely would have been pissed off if this was live action. You understand?
Mm.
But the fact that it's animated, I think that they can get away with this, and it's good. I mean, look, we're entertained, yapping about it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, this is fantastic. I found it. I agree with C. I found it weird, and I think only because traditionally, like, even if they find out, it takes time. Like, I don't know how many seasons this show is going to have. I I think traditional me would be like, I would have waited maybe another season. But maybe, and Dan is saying in the chat he didn't spoil nothing, but he says it gets more serious. So maybe there's a reason behind it, and it works out well. I would have stuck to the traditional thing, and I also want to mention real quick because Dan always is in the chat. Shout out to him, right? I'm not used to seeing him in a picture without a cosplay. So seeing him in a suit, I said, "Who the hell is that?" And I'm like, "That's Dan."
Nice.
So in the episode, right? The he follows the I guess gets to the emergency, and pretty much it's more of these criminals with these high power tech. Yeah, and as he's fighting them, Lois, in all her genius, decides to cuff herself to Superman.
Yep.
She's like, yeah, because Clark really wants to interview you, so I'm not going to let you out of my sight. She cuffs herself to him. So he's fighting these bad guys with her cuffed to him, which is ridiculous. She's just making it hard on him. He don't even know what he's doing like that, and he's got to look after you now. So yeah. Anyway,
I thought it was kind of smooth though, because they throwing tires at him. And he's dancing with her. You know what I mean? It was kind of.
Luckily, he didn't kill her by mistake. Fast.
I'll bet you one thing. I bet you she was blushing at the end of that because he was like flipping her around and all of that. It was cute. Did you see how he had her and there was tires thrown at her and they were like dancing poses? It was nice. They should frame that and take a picture.
She was one breath away from having her neck snap like goddamn Gwen Stacy.
And I bet you she loved every minute of it.
She should have just left it alone. But anyway, the fight happens. One of the villains of the episode, they're like, oh no, Superman has been taken away, has been, kind of getting rid of or kidnapping villains, right? And of course we know that isn't his bag, right? That's not his thing.
No.
So you said Heatwave is the girl's name?
Yep.
She gets away, they follow her, and then that's when our real bad guys come. Bad guys who call themselves the good guys, right? The good guys. Mm-hmm. So we got what's his name? Deathstroke.
Oh yeah,
I think so.
Deathstroke. No, you got Slade, Amanda
Waller,
and
who's the other guy? I still don't know who that is.
General. The guy who's always with Shaquille O'Neal in them commercials. Something, save some cars. No, the General.
I don't know who that man is.
No, the General. Who I believe that is? That has to be Lois Lane's father. Because Lois Lane's father was a general. That's true. And also too, she mentioned in the previous episode, me and my father didn't get along and stuff like that. So I believe that to be him. And also too, because when you guys mentioned the flashbacks episode, there was a picture or a flashback of him when he was younger and a lot slimmer too. Because the barbecues down there in Metropolis ain't doing too bad. But the General
deep fried Oreos and all that.
Deep what? Ew.
So I could see that. No, if that's the case, I could definitely see that being her dad. Because the only reason I know her dad is the General is because I watched Superman and Lois.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what though?
And it makes sense. And he is like ethnic, right? And she's supposed to be ethnic as well. So it's like I could see that being her dad.
But you know what though? The lady that was next to him, she gave off the vibes of the lady in Suicide Squad.
That's her.
That
is her. That is her. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's the same lady.
I didn't realize.
Well, you know what it is? It's different because in the movie she's a lot. Amanda Waller's always been kind of a big woman, and anytime she's been depicted, so that might have threw you off because of the, that might threw you off. But yeah, no, that's Amanda Waller.
Wait a minute. The fact that she's in there makes this very interesting. Why? Because she always has information to all of the weirdos.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? She's always bringing out all of the weirdos chasing the weird things. Remember the big starfish and all of the weirdos that came out? Wow, this is interesting. This is very interesting because it might lead to an animated Suicide Squad. That's gonna be wild, huh? Yeah,
I didn't
realize that was her. I didn't realize that was her. But hey, this is getting good. I like it.
Yes, so the fight goes on between Superman and Deathstroke, but Deathstroke was kind of called off by the General once the civilians' lives were put in danger. There was a school bus that almost crashed down to the ground, and Superman decided to help them. And so because of that, the general is very much about saving lives, but Amanda
Right.
Waller's like getting the job done.
Yep.
And I can understand.
That's really you would be perfect on Suicide Squad. See the Suicide Squad member. That's what
You
your
know what
name.
though?
Yes,
I want to
we got to get
understand
the
why
job
he's the
done.
target.
Yeah, I
No,
get
but
the
I want
job.
to understand why he's the target. That's what I'm curious to see
Who,
because she's sitting there
Superman?
yeah,
Well,
she's sitting
I
there
mean,
talking
Because
about
he's so powerful,
yeah, I
and
think
no,
they
no,
don't
but I
know
want
who
to
he is,
understand
what his alliances
why.
are.
Mm-hmm. No,
yeah,
I get that.
absolutely.
But clearly,
Almost like
there's
how
visible.
like pretty much like how in Batman v Superman, Batman didn't trust Superman because he's like, we have a being with this unlimited kind of power, and if he go rogue, what do we do?
Hmm.
Especially if you don't know nothing
Hmm.
about him. So it's pretty much the I don't understand you. We have to eliminate you.
Yeah.
Thing. But I did want to talk real quick about this fight because I really enjoyed this. Slade was doing some Slade stuff. I enjoyed like the robot. It kind of gave me that feel like just before you fought the final boss in the game, you had like this semi boss that you fought, and then there was like these other minions, and they were ridiculous. So I kind of enjoy that. These big, I call these robots. What was that movie called? It was in '99. I Am Robot or something like that. The giant robot or
Yeah.
something like that. Iron Robot. He was fighting Iron Robots. Tore these things to shred. And you mentioned earlier too about Slade and his swords. I don't know for sure, but I assume that these guys they had tech. You know, these wasn't regular
Hmm.
swords that was stabbing Superman and putting him in there. So I think that's how he's able. Because at one point when he put the sword in Superman, he was burning, and I thought that was
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just like, yo, how is it that Superman's getting hurt by a lightsaber? Like that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like
lightsaber.
for real. Like where
Superman's pathetic.
no,
Pathetic.
I'm waiting for Darth Vader to show up because they come in with you know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that would be so meta. I would love for that to happen now.
I mean, it's animated, yo. They probably pull out a
Yeah,
super
I don't think they have the rights to it though.
maybe a
No,
Pokemon will show up. Anyway.
No, there's
I
no
love,
way.
I
But
love, I love,
but
I love it.
at the
I
end
love
of
it.
the battle, Superman goes back to Lois.
Lois.
Lois, who is still on the rooftop. And long story short, she jumps off the roof in order to prove or to make him say that he's Superman, pretty much Clark. He, of course, has to save her.
No, he
Luckily,
don't.
she was
No, he don't.
right.
No, he don't. No, he don't. No, 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 no. Let me change that. He doesn't have to do that. He's not obligated to do that. He doesn't have to sit here and save her. You know, Superman could have just took one look at Lois as she falls and said, hopefully you're going to be covered for that. So no, he
Thanks
doesn't
for
have to
watching,
do that.
Superman.
Yeah.
We have Superman in the comments. Thank you so much.
I'm super
Super
duper man.
duper
Oh
man.
shoot.
We
This
appreciate
guy's like badass. There's a D in there.
But yeah, so she just pulled that dumb move, but luckily it worked out for her. And now she knows officially that Clark is Superman. And not only that, that wasn't our official ending. We got Jimmy, right? He's
We ain't talking
in
about
the woods because since the beginning of the episode, he was like, bro, y'all coming with me to find Bigfoot,
Bigfoot, yeah.
whatever it is. They just left him out. He's the Steve of the group, as they said in the beginning of the episode.
I love Steve.
Hey,
He's a little bit of a jerk.
He had some good points, but he didn't realize what was going on. But damn, what was going on
I
was
don't like Steve.
You know what it is? It's the mustache, isn't it?
It is the mustache.
No, he's a professional troller. He's a professional troller. He's trolling our boy Jimmy. But you know what? Here's the thing about Jimmy. He's quiet. He's taking his pictures on the side. He's a whole professional YouTuber. He got millions of subscribers.
Nah.
Speaking of, if you're watching, subscribe to our channels. We're here.
Nah.
We could be the next Jimmy out here.
Nah.
But yeah, so at the end of the episode, he's in the woods. He's in the woods. And what's his name?
Good. I was stuck.
So that's what he kept saying throughout the whole thing. That's what
nah.
But at the end of the episode, he gets kind of cornered by what's his name from the Flash. What's his name? The
Gorilla
damn gorilla.
Gorilla
Gorilla
Grodd.
Grodd. Now,
Gorilla
Gorilla Grodd is
Gorilla.
in this universe here, so that's interesting. What do you guys think about that?
I find it great because now Lois and Clark are fighting, and then Jimmy's gonna be the one that they gotta go save, and then they come together, and then they'll probably reveal it to Jimmy, and then it'll be a whole thing, and then we'll just move on from whatever's going on. So the fact that he's there though, Either he came from another universe or he's part of whatever. This is why I'm interested in, because like I'm curious to see what other characters they bring in, because so
Mhm.
far it's just been a bunch of tech, which is very modern day,
Right.
which I like, So it's interesting because it kind of keeps you like with a question mark on top of your head. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all
Mhm.
right, what's next? Is Jigglypuff gonna come out and put everybody to sleep?
What is
Like, you
going
know what I
on
mean?
there?
This is
Like
crossover events.
hey,
Yeah.
you never know. It's animated, so you never know. But the point is
It's
that
not.
like
It's not gonna happen.
it's
No, it's not.
Japanese. Ash is gonna come out with Snorlax and
Since
stomp on
episode one, you've
everybody.
been talking about this damn Pokemon
I don't
crossover.
know. All this shit
I
is drawn like Pokemon. Anyway, what was I saying? I forgot.
You
Some
know, that was the end
Pokemon
of the
playing Superman.
episode. That was the end of the episode. Ooh, what about Mewtwo versus Superman? Who will win?
Oh, that would be
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. Mewtwo be
What?
sent back to being Mew. Come on, stop it,
I
That
stop
don't
would
it,
be
know.
wild.
It's been a
stop it.
hard battle. But
What?
anyway,
Well, it depends
yeah,
on who
that
the
was
judge
pretty much
is.
the episodes, guys. Like we keep saying, this is a pretty good show. I'm enjoying
Oh
my
yeah.
time watching it.
Mhm.
Join us next week, most likely on Wednesday, but you never know. Just join us when you see us pop up in your
Yeah.
in your notifications.
And that's
Hit
why
the
you need to.
bell.
That's why you need to subscribe. So that way, when you see our
Yes.
faces, you already know the Trio of Destiny. We're about to talk about some Superman. We're about to make some crossover event that we probably cannot afford to do.
Facts.
But just click on our faces. We'll be back next Tuesday, Wednesday, or so like that. Just follow us, man. And click
All
those
right,
links.
follow
There's
us.
all these links.
Thanks for watching. Bye. Talk to you later.
Take care. There's no website.
Dun, dun.